Hey there, Floralpreneurs. It is I, Alison Ellis of realflowerbusiness.com, bringing you back into my studio again today to show you what's inside my bag. What's in my bag? This is what I call my bag of tricks. I bring it with me to every wedding, and it is absolutely essential that you have some kind of toolkit or a bag of tricks of your own that you bring to weddings and events so that you know that you have supplies on hand in case you need to problem solve. Okay, so let's dive into what's inside my bag. First, though, let me just give props to the bag itself. Okay, this is a bag from Better Homes and Gardens. I bought this bag 24 years ago when I started my business. It is still in incredible shape. I mean, you could never tell that this bag is 24 years old. It's crazy. It's crazy. So I'm not telling you to look for this bag because it's probably not around anymore. But if you have a bucket with one of those little skirts on it that kind of has little pockets, that will work. You could do a stacked toolbox. Like one of my really good friends has this pretty major little toolkit that she brings to every wedding so she knows that they have everything they need. Okay. So whatever you choose to bring, the reason is so that you have things you need on hand. All right. So let's dive in. First, I always have ribbon. Always have ribbon, multiple shades of greens. And depending on the wedding, I will also add ribbons that coordinate with that wedding. If it's a pink wedding, if it's a yellow wedding, right? If it's a blue wedding, I'll bring ribbons that coordinate with the flowers just in case. You just never know when you just might need to add some ribbon, change ribbons on bouquets, whatever, okay? Always have ribbon. I always bring an apron. This is actually like a really nice linen apron that I gifted to all the students who came to my workshop in April for the wedding boot camp. And what I like about an apron, I design in an apron when I'm working in my studio, but I don't always wear one when I'm on site. However, sometimes I just really need these pockets. I need big pockets that I can trim ribbon, for example, and shove those little scraps of ribbon into my kangaroo pouch, right? Like that's essentially what's happening here. Or I need to like walk across, say a big lawn to get to an arbor or something, and I don't need all of my whole toolkit, but I do need a few tools. I can stick them in these big pockets. So I love having an apron on site. Also, bind wire. I always have at least 2 shades of bind wire. Sometimes I also have green because I find this to be such an essential tool. Water tubes. Empty water tubes that I can fill on site if I need to, just in case I forgot them or I just didn't bring enough pre-made. Dustpan, little broom and dustpan. Teeny tiny, but it does the trick, okay? So really handy. Zip ties. Always have zip ties. I tend to use bind wire more than zip ties these days when I'm doing installations like arbors and things. But there are some things that you just can't beat a zip tie. So always good to have zip ties. In fact, I have multiple sizes of zip ties in my bag. So I've got some smaller zip ties here as well. All right, I have got teeny tiny Holly Chapel pillows, okay? I usually pack a couple of sizes of these if I'm gonna be designing on site, just in case I need a little more to work with, a little more pillow or cage to work with. But there's always something in here. So even if I forget to add something, I've got a backup. Fishing line, of course, because you have to have fishing line. One of these little rose strippers. I love this for cleaning flowers so much. I don't know the name of it, but it's got these little grippy things. I just love it. Little name tags, just labels, blank labels for putting a name tag on something. Every now and again, you just kind of need to label something in the moment. I've got this double-sided Oasis tape that is probably as old as the bag itself, but it's still sticky. Bark-covered wire. Never know when you just need a little extra wire. And I've got this kind of random, sort of natural twine, kind of a ribbon in here. It's not exactly ribbon, but it's not exactly twine. Yeah, it's just in there for just in case. I've got a couple of thinner ribbons. Okay. I have got some waterproof tape. You just never know when you're going to need your waterproof tape. I've got a small packet of tissues because one time I was doing a wedding and a mom was like kind of teary-eyed and she didn't have tissues, but I did. And I felt like such a superstar that I had tissues, that I have literally carried them ever since. I don't know that anyone has ever needed a tissue again, but I have them. I also have an official roadmap of Vermont, also probably a little outdated and maybe needs to be refreshed. And I have another apron, okay? This is just one of those little small, like, I don't know, like waist aprons, you know, like little pockety kind of apron. And I have this for just a backup in case I don't have my big apron. But I also have it so I could put tools in it. Let's just say there's someone who's helping me with an event. I can put tools in it or things that they need and kind of hand it to them and go, here, take this, right? And now they have the things that they need. So it kind of serves multiple functions, okay? So that was just what was in the center. Now we're going to look at what's in the little pockets because it's lined with pockets. I have a hole puncher because I used to use this every single week when I would hang my business card on like my business accounts. I would hang a business card on their arrangements. And it's just still in here because where else does it belong, right? Might as well carry it with you everywhere you go. Let's see, what's this? I have got little hang tags, okay? So this is an extra, a little nicer version of a tag than just those sticky labels. Wax string. This is what I was feeling before, going, what is that? So always have some wax string. It's great for tying bouquets or tying anything. I have corsage tape, always multiple colors. And I also, this is a new addition for me, but I'm also bringing now like a little cuff bracelet just in case anybody forgot to include a loved one. So I've got an extra blank base. My favorite tool of all, in all of life, the clothespin. I always have a clothespin or multiple clothespins. It's kind of a joke in our family now. Hey mom, do you have a clothespin? And I usually do. Great for road trips. Great if you have a little bag of chips you need to close up, you know, have a little clothespin. Another sort of newer thing for me is carrying some disposable gloves. Really helps keep my hands so much cleaner on the wedding day. Instead of, I used to kind of like meet people and they would be like, oh, it's so nice to meet you. And I'm like, oh, my hands are gross. Sorry. You know, now it's a little less like that. I highly recommend wearing gloves if you can. So next, very old notebook with a no longer working calculator. I've got a spool of wire. This came in handy the other day when I had to do a little corsage repair work. I already showed you the zip ties I have here in my side pouch. What's this? What's this? Yes, okay. Underneath the zip ties is my tape measure. Always have a tape measure. Super handy. Hardly use it, but when I need it, it is so good to have. I also have a little lint roller. I have not used this lint roller yet, but I have it just in case. For tables, for who knows, right? There just may be a groom who needs a little brushing off, who knows. But that's what I got. And yeah, that's the inside. So now we're going to move to the outside. The outside are obviously things that I want to access like a little bit more quickly, where I don't want to have to dig in my bag, or I want to be able to tell somebody, grab the scissors, right? So on this side of the bag, I have 2 pairs of scissors. One for anything, one for just ribbon. I have a pair of clippers, and I usually pack another pair of clippers because I always want to have at least 2 pairs of clippers. It is very easy for someone to pick them up and walk off with them, for you to put them down and forget, or even for them to just like break randomly, because at some point they give out, depending how long you've had your clipper. So I always have 2 pairs with me on hand, on site. and then a wire cutter. So I have my wire cutter, especially for if I'm doing, an arbor. But the truth is, most of the time, like a scissor can handle that, as long as it's not my ribbon scissor. But I really use this in my studio mostly. I use this in my studio when I'm doing my corsage work, my boutonniere work, and it still makes sense for me to just have it in this bag though. This is where it lives, and I know where it is. All right, we'll go this way. We'll go clockwise. Business cards. I always just have a few business cards in plastic so they don't get wet. I have got a couple of like hand sanitizer wipes. My sister sent me these years ago and I still have them. And I have the Trader Joe's grapefruit and lemon hand sanitizer. Not so much for hand sanitizing as for taking glue off. If you have cold glue kind of stuck to your fingers, Francois Weeks taught me that using like a citrusy kind of, hand sanitizer would help take that off. So anyway, I carry this for gluing purposes. And all right, this little guy broke the other day when I was trying to get in here. So this is just an old tin that's got some bongo ties in it and some safety pins, just things that you might need to secure things. I have also got a little water tube in here with some small little pieces of wire that are pre-cut. And my Floralpreneur pen, one of the best pens out there. Then I've got another one of my new favorite things, this extended spray mister. I love it. So just water. I don't spray like finishing spray or anything on my flowers, just the mister. Isn't that nice? That nice extended spray. So nice. All right. Then I have got corsage pins, boutonniere pins rather. So these are always in my bag. I have boutonniere pins at my station. These don't come out of this bag. So these are here because honestly, you just never know when you need to like make one boutonniere on the fly. And also there was just this one time where my incredibly trusty assistant just forgot to put the pins on all the boutonnieres. It was a total oversight, total just mess up. And I had pins, so it wasn't a problem, right? I had what we needed. So you want to always have some pins. This is so random. I've had this for years. It's just like a little birch kind of like table number holder. I don't know. You just never know. That's my feeling. Carry it till you die. And then I have corsage pins. Now, I told you why I have the boutonniere pins, but the corsage pins I have for a different reason. The corsage pins are like a pearl pin, and then I also have a couple of these kind of like gemmy ones, the like kind of sparkly diamondy ones. These are for finishing a bouquet. These are for pinning into a ribbon to give you that pearl pin finish. These are for attaching that little locket or picture to a bouquet, or that piece of fabric from your mom's dress that you wanted attached to. These pins allow me to easily add something to a bouquet if need be. All right, so that's that. Then I've got just a little plastic bag in here for garbage, clean garbage bag, and a small little envelope with just a couple of random blank cards. This has also been in here for a million years. And it's just random blank cards in case I just needed to like leave a note, label something. Those, as you can see, labeling things is something that I'm a little concerned of on the fly. I don't want to be running around going, where's a piece of paper or a note card, right? I just want to be able to like, here's what this is, okay? And that is all, okay? So that is my whole bag in a nutshell. You can see once I take out kind of those bulky things like the apron and the ribbon, it's quite roomy inside. And yeah, that's what I bring to my weddings. So tell me what you think. What do you bring? Is there anything you bring that I'm forgetting that I should be bringing too? If you're doing a lot of candles, you probably also want to have like a big long lighter in there. I have one that I can easily see like when I'm doing my checklist, so I can grab it if need be. But yeah, what else do you maybe bring that I am forgetting? I'm curious. Tell me what's in your bag. Okay. In the meantime, keep doing beautiful work. I hope this was somewhat helpful, even if it just sparked one idea for you. I'm glad that you stayed tuned to watch. So thanks for being here. Keep doing beautiful work. I'll see you next time. Bye.